In this video, I'm going to tell you how I sold one property and I bought two of them. So I sold one and I bought two. So that's what I'm going to tell you in this video. Welcome. This is your first time. Welcome to the property chat with KG. I'm KG and we're talking about property. And in that, I'm going to touch on the following things. I'm going to touch on location. Those are the things that I'm looking at. I'm going to be looking at the value that I put into property before I sold it. The selling part of it, that's number 3. And I'm going to be looking at the buying. And last point will be what's next? Am I going to use this strategy or not? So let's kick it off. This was not a strategy. I'm declaring on the onset. I didn't think about it. I didn't plan it. I did not do that. All that I wanted was to buy properties, to buy lots and lots and lots of properties. And I did exactly that. So location. That's the first thing I'm going to talk about. So when I bought this property, there was so much potential, a lot of potential. And I'm going to go through. I've got a piece of paper that I wrote so I don't forget. And I mention all the things that I need to mention. So looking at the property was in Soweto Protea Glen Extension 29. And there was so much happening there, right? So a house was in a good location. Protea Glen. Protea Glen is more like the BEPS, more like the suburbs of Protea Glen, like especially the old Protea Glen, Extension 1, around there at the top, it's the suburbs. And it was a growing location. It was growing. Protea Glen grew. I bought mine at Extension 29. Remember, there's Extension 1. There's 1, there's 2 from the bottom. So it's growing. And then there was amazing things that are happening there. There was Glenridge Mall. There was Protea Glen Mall. There was Protea Gardens. Just within, there was 3 malls. And when I went and looked at the future plans of the place, there was a lot of things that was going to happen. So, and the other one was, there were schools. There was a future Curo schools that they were going to build. There was a Spark schools that we're going to build. There's Akkodio College, and there's Basa, and then there's beautiful private, government schools in Protea Glen that gave the place value in short. And there was quite a lot of services that we needed. Like for instance, there was police station, there was court, there was Johannesburg municipality right there around court. It was close to Lenesia, Lens, and then Lens, there's a massive community as well, Indian community that side, but everybody could stay there. Beautiful houses as well. And then just a few minutes drive from Maponya Mall, one of the biggest. And then we're looking at the tourist attractions in Soweto. There's Mandela, and there's quite a lot of things happening in Soweto. So that's what we looked at. I knew that Protea Glen would stop at a certain point. It wouldn't go past straight to Ramfontein. There was a mine there. Mine gave me a lot of 1, 2, 3 thoughts about the place, but I went in full force. And I also went to Property 24. This is very important. I went to Property 24. I looked at the Protea Glen houses, Extension 1. The cheapest then was selling for 700,000. Cheapest was selling for 700,000 at Extension 1. And then the most expensive was 1.3 million rands. Again, I looked at the streets. How much was the last house sold on that street? So that's property, that's what I looked at. And again, where I was going to buy a house, there was like a lot of young people staying there. A lot of young people love nice things. Once they buy a property, they will take care of it. They will develop it. They will do quite amazing things and make sure that security is tight. So that's what I looked at for location. And location was on point. So everything ticked. And I moved to the next one, which is putting value into the property. What exactly did I do? The second thing I did was to put more value into the property. These properties were newly built properties and they had nothing. So there was no wall security fence, there was no tiles, there was no butlers, no kitchen unit, no cabinets, it was just a normal ceiling. There was enough big space at the back to build back rooms. There was no garden, there was no pavement, no gate, no special gutters. Paint was just a normal paint. Everything was just ordinary. Now, what I did was to make sure that I put value into these properties, to this property, so it can move up. So the first thing that I did, I put in tiles. I don't remember how much because I was just doing things. I was not thinking future investment. I was just thinking I want to be in a better place. That's what I was thinking at the time. So my first project that I did, like a physical first project I did, it was separate toilet and bath tap. So bath tap was on its own room, and then a toilet was on its own room. And basically, I didn't like the bath tap part of it because it's a lot of work, bathing, cleaning. I felt like I'm bathing in not so clean water. That was me. I don't know how you guys feel and think about that one. But then I decided, you know what? Let's move this toilet basin seat and let's move it to where the bathtub is. And then in that big space, we're going to then create a shower. We did that. It took us some time. I've just got somebody who was working around in the development, and he said he knew how to do all of it, but the guy didn't know. So that's what we did, and it took us forever, but it was finally done. Then the second thing was to get the taps for the washing machine in the kitchen, and we put in quite a lot of things. We worked on it. The things that I mentioned that I said they were not there, we put them there. And then once all of that was done, there was big space at the back. What I did was to build back rooms. So I built massive 4x4, 5x5, 5x5. I built massive 5x5 back rooms, and they were huge. I stayed in the property from 2011 to 2014, and I got married and I left and I moved to Rustenburg. So the property was vacant, and I rented the property out to people. The main house, that 3-bedroom house, it was going for 4,000, and the back rooms, when they finally completed, each was going for 2,000. So from the entire property, I used to collect 10,000 about 10,000 or more, about 10, 11,000. I'll stick to the minimum 10,000 for now. So I used to collect 10,000 from the property. And let's do the calculations. From 2015 to 2020, that's when I sold the house. It's 5 years. So in that 5 years, I collected 10,000 per month. 10,000 per month multiplied by 12 a year, it was 120,000. 120,000 multiplied by 5, it's 600,000. In that 600,000, we then going to minus at 2 years where the lady was not paying rent. She was just living there rent free in my property. And those are the monies that came into my bank account. I was not thinking property invested in, because if I was thinking that way, I could have reinvested the money and get more property. But I did not. I wanted to sit, enjoy my life with my wife, with my children, and to live a comfortable life. But then I made sure that I put value into property by putting in the basics. And the property was lovely when I sold it, with everything in place. Now let's move on to the third one, selling of the property. So the property grew from 381,000. That was the initial price for the property. In 2020, the property was 556,000. And then let's move on to the selling. What did I do with the selling and why did I sell it? So sharp, I did not want to sell the house, but it was stressful to the point that I just gave up, because I had a new agent that was working with me. She was amazing. The previous one messed up quite a lot of things, and then we were just fixing throughout, and tenants were complaining so much. So there was a lot of issues. Tenants had issues. There was electricity issues. There was quite a lot of things happening at the go, and as such, instead of collecting 10,000, 10 to 11,000 per month, I was then taking 7,000, 8,000. And then I was paying about 4,000 for the house, which was not bad. So it was taking 4,000 to me. But it was stressful. It was stressful. And the one thing that made it extremely, extremely stressful is I was in Ghana and the property is in South Africa. And you're constantly talking to people. You just landed in Ghana. You want to settle. There's talks back and forth, phone calls, a lot of time. And I was like, man, let me just get rid of this house. I'll see what to do next. So we listed the house for 700,000. Remember, the property value was 556,000. But then we looked at it and how amazing the house was. The back rooms, we just put it out for 700,000. And that was based on the last property that was sold on the street. It was around, the property was like around 650. So we put in 700,000, slightly up. And there was quite a lot of people. A week later, we had quite a lot of people showing interest in the property, and they came and viewed. So the first one came, and then they put in an offer for 700,000. And the second one came and said, no, I'm taking this house actually. And the person put an offer for 710,000. And this was happening during COVID. In 2020. And the first person who put an offer counter offered that one, and then he put in 720,000. And that one didn't come back, and the house was gone. He bought the house for 720. So this is the breakdown. How did that money spent or broken down into different segments? So this piece is going there, this piece is going there, this piece is going there. So we sold the house for 750. The bank, we settled the bank for 309,404.16 cents. Okay, and bond cancellation. So they canceled the bond from my name, and agent commission, that was 7.5%, and she got 62,100. And then rates application, for the rates, we paid in 862.50 cents. City of Johannesburg settling in everything, so the next person doesn't carry quite a lot of load. We then pay City of Johannesburg 3,206 rands 0.25 cents. And then FICA fees, the FICA, we pay 460 rands. And then the seller, the money that came to me was 339,072 rands 0.84. Before buying the houses, the money was deposited into my bank account, South African bank account, Capitec. And I was in Ghana. I couldn't spend the money, and I didn't want to spend the money at all. And even though I wanted, it was expensive, because one rand was equals to 1.5 cedi. So it was a lot to use South African bank card in Ghana. So I didn't want to do that because I was going to lose more money. So what I did is I kept on putting more money, keep on saving. Then I put about 300,000. And how we did that, back then we used to do this with my wife. So we put away 60% of my salary, and we put it away. We sent it to South Africa, and we were able to save 300,000. And in 2022, we then went to South Africa, and I bought two houses, each for 300,000, including the fees. And all the transactions, they took about 6 months, because buying a house takes quite a long time. Buying a house it's not like buying bread from ShopRite. It's not like buying a car. Car takes a day, but a home takes forever to get it. The question is, what's next? Remember at the beginning, I told you that this was not a strategy, just the desire of buying properties, more properties and more properties. Then the question is, did I make a profit from the property that I sold? Did I lose money? Is this a good strategy? Can I repeat it? Like, for instance, can I go back and do the same thing with the property that I just renovated this year and sell it and buy 2 properties? What you guys think? Is this a good strategy? That's all, guys. That's how I sold 1 property and I bought 2 properties. Please, guys, I would like for you to support my work by just hitting on the subscribe button, like it, so it can more people can see the video. That's all for today. We'll see you on the next one. For now, go get those properties one time.